And hello, everybody, and welcome to the Fearless Floyd Show. As always, I am your host, Fearless Floyd, and today we are going to talk about Christine Scott's speech that she gave on election integrity at the Villagers for Trump speaking engagement December 5th, 2023. And I have tried to interview Christine, but alphabet agencies are hampering her ability to do interviews and get her word out. So hopefully you guys will enjoy this video. And let me get it queued up for you. Where'd it go? Of course, it's gone now. Well, this one. There we go. All right, now I've got it queued up. Give me a second here.
All right, so let me tell you this story. So I find myself in Richmond, Virginia, 1985. Who remembers 1985? Okay, you're not going to believe this. Back when I'm 29 now, 1985, I was only about 20. Okay, so I have a time machine. So in 1985, I'm in Richmond, Virginia. I go to an Amway convention, Free Enterprise Weekend. 20 years old. Anybody ever been to an Amway convention? Okay. Anybody ever been to an Amway rally? Okay. Who was in Amway? Come on, admit it. You can admit it. Okay. All right. So I was in. All right. So it's a free. Okay. All right. So I'm at an Amway. It's a 3-day convention, right? And during the convention, there's this group playing. Beautiful family. They're playing some great songs about getting up and getting out and doing something. Their name was GOABS. Okay, GOABS. And you know what that's an acronym for? Go out and do something. Okay, kind of like here. We need to fill every seat. We need to get everybody out to vote. We need to reelect Donald Trump. What do you need to do? Go out and do something, right, Kurt? All right, okay. So Sunday morning, they have a mass. And if you ever heard of a guy named Bill Britt, here's a preacher. He's a businessman. But here's a guy who would be slamming his Bible down and quoting this verse and that verse, and he'd be just getting you up and just knocking your socks off with his preaching Sunday morning, right? And behind him was this beautiful family singing beautiful Christian songs. It was incredible. And here I am, growing up Catholic school for 12 years. Here I'm 20 years old, and for the first time I went down to this thing called an altar call. Anybody know what an altar call is, Pastor? Okay, so we went down and did this altar call at 20 years old, right? So, that was 1985. They played some music that I've never forgotten, that you're going to hear tonight. Fast forward to last April. I'm at a seminar for the company I work for, National Write Your Congressman, right? So we're at this seminar, and we have, it's a 2-day thing, right? So we're sitting there in class learning, and there's an agenda, and I flip the agenda over on Friday, and I see Saturday morning, pledge, Bob Rivernugget. I'm going to do the pledge. They want me to do the pledge when you got all these patriots in this room, okay, military people, the stories will blow your mind in here, and they want me to do the pledge. I said, okay, I'll do the pledge, right? So, I'm sitting there, and I think, what am I going to do? Because, for those of you who don't know, I'm just not your ordinary Bob, okay? So, I go to the hotel room, I'm sleeping, wake up at 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm thinking, what can I do to make it a little different? And just then, it hit me, and I said to my girlfriend, hey Siri, play Veterans of the USA by the... Oh, you got that? 2 o'clock in the morning, I'm laying in bed, said to my girlfriend, hey Siri, play Veterans of the USA by the Goats. And this song comes on. I hope you're on your phone handy, because it'll start playing. And it shocked me that here it is, all these years later, from 1985, okay? All these years later, this song starts playing, Veterans of the USA by the Go's, one of the greatest songs I've ever heard about veterans, okay? And then, so I go down and I play it for everybody down there that day, right? And then I'm on my phone during class, right? And I go Google, hey, whatever happened to this group, the Go's? I look them up on Google, Facebook, right? And I go on Facebook and I say, oh, Carolyn Gold-Plankella, she's doing a seminar for human trafficking in Claremont, Florida. Wow. On that day. I'm in Atlanta at this point, right? I said, hey, I could have gone, I had no idea, right? So there she was doing that, right? And then I come back and I say, oh, I wonder where, she lives around here. So turns out she lives around here. Turns out she has a little business around here. And she lives right here in Citrus County now. Wow. What a small world. Now, for those of you who were here earlier, you heard her sing. And if we can find her, we may get to do that again. Can somebody call her? Hey Siri, call Carolyn Gold-Plankella. Because we're about to, let's see if she answers. She's here.
She might be outside warming up.
Okay, that's probably where she is. And, ladies and gentlemen, it is now my pleasure and honor to hear from the person who we just missed this whole story of. She heard, I told this story at the Tea Party. I have never met her before. And then I'll get up and I tell this story at the Tea Party meeting a couple weeks ago. Come on up and tell everybody about it. And then we're going to have Carolyn tell us what she's up to now. And I don't know, is Kurt going to join me for
a song?
Yeah.
Is that okay with you?
Well, let me tell you, folks. Carolyn and her brothers, one of the best Christian bands you'll have ever heard. I wish they had their CDs here tonight. But, ladies and gentlemen,
that's just a good reason to bring us back.
Okay. So, here she is, Carolyn Gold-Plankella.
I love Bob. He's too much. The last time that I came and spoke for him, I'm not kidding, I about couldn't get, I had to sing right after he was done. And I was crying so hard because it was just, you just really, who encourages the encourager, right? And that's what Bob did. And he's pretty special, isn't he? He is pretty special. And I am really excited. And I'm so excited that we've got to know each other. I feel like now I've got a brother from another mother. And I got a feeling we're going to do some great things together, right? Because we're all about making a difference in people's lives. And like he said, I've been in ministry for over 50 years. I know I look 29. Just saying it. Just wanted to say it. And, though I might be small, what is that? I'm still fierce. And I am in the fight of all fights. About 5 years ago, and I had been working, we lost our parents. Let me just give you that little story real quick. I lost my mom when I was 6, lost my dad when I was 13, and lost my brother, another brother, not that brother, but another brother about 15 years ago, and then a sister 5 years ago. We've had a lot of loss, right? But listen, that which don't destroy you makes you stronger, correct? And so what it did for me is I thought I was going to go get involved in foster care. And I started going through all the program, and when I got into foster care, I realized that 79% of all kids in foster care were being trafficked. And no offense, I don't know about you, but I thought trafficking was over in another country. I had no idea that it was happening right here in America. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Florida is number 3 in our country. And just to give you a little bit more stats on this, it's a $150 billion a year business. I'm going to say it again. It's $150 billion with a B. I was on a talk show with about 14 million people the other week, and one of the ladies said, oh, they're not that organized. I said, I'd love to be not that organized to make $150 billion. It's 50 million that we know of. Those of us that are working in the business, we know that it's probably more up towards 200 million that are being trafficked. And it's not just in sex, labor, but they're also now doing it for body parts. Now, people don't want to believe that. This is very real. Are you disgusted? And we should be. It should make us so angry that we want to get up and yell, it ain't okay. Matter of fact, I did a t-shirt for us to walk around with that says, it's not okay. And it's got all the pedophilia. Because it's not okay. Just to let you know, we love Sound of Freedom. How many of you saw it? We love it. Matter of fact, I took 2 of my survivors with us, and we were so happy because people in America don't know that it's happening right here. But how they showed it happening on Sound of Freedom is not how it's happening here in America. And all of my girls left there so frustrated because they said we didn't see ourselves. Who is going to shine the alarm bell and say that's not how it's happening here? Can I give you the stats? 5 to 10% in America is taken, like what you see happening overseas. This is where it gets disgusting. 60% are groomed through social media and gaming. I'm going to say that again. 60% are being groomed by walking around with that telephone in their hand. How many of us do we see kids, they're just being babysat by that thing? Hey, maybe I'm old school. I still believe in eye-to-eye contact. People ask me all the time, they're like, I've got a 21, an 18, and a 14-year-old. They say, well, Carolyn, how do you do that? My kids don't have social media. I tell them, if you want to talk to a friend, let's pick up the phone. Better than that, let's go pick them up. I'd like to get to know their families. What happened to that? So I'm going to stand it up. I'm going to talk about it. Why? Because I own a thrift store in Beverly Hills. Have any of you been over there to Beverly Hills yet? It's Beverly Hills, Florida, by the way. But we opened up a store there in Beverly Hills, and I've had 13 girls come through my doors. I just had a girl last week, and she came in, and they always have a look on their face where they're a little timid, like they don't know, am I real? Do you blame them? By the time I start talking with them, and they see that this is real, they grab me, and they hug me. And when I heard her story, she says, Carolyn, she said, I said, how did you get out? She said, well, we all have to end up running drugs. See, because drugs and trafficking are all going to go in the same room. You get that, right? The problem is now is that drugs are actually getting ready to take a second place to trafficking because drugs can only be used one time, where a trafficking boy or girl can be used 10 to 20 times a day. She told me that where she came from, and I hope it's okay, that where she was at, there was a 12-year-old girl that was in a cage. And when the police caught her, she tried to tell them, please go back and get the other girl. She said, it saved my life getting caught by the police and getting thrown in jail. Isn't that a sad day? So, and then you got from there, I had a girl come into my store that told me about her 4-year-old little boy that was playing Minecraft. My kids played Minecraft. Thought that was innocent. She said that all of a sudden she saw him pick up her telephone. He went to walk out the door and was getting ready to read the address off of the house. And she caught him. All because they were talking to them through the game. Social media. I'll tell you a few stories about that. So my girlfriend, her son is like 13, 14 years old, and he races go-karts. But now he's moved up to be in the bigger cars and all that stuff. Incredible. Well, he started having this so-called girl that was saying, hey, let's be friends. I think you're awesome. He was like, oh, great, I want to be friends. All of a sudden, she's like, can you send me a picture of yourself? Then from there it went, oh, can you do one without your shirt on? Do you get where I'm heading? All of a sudden the mother, thank God for the wisdom, she was getting all of the Facebook things too. She was seeing everything coming through. When they ended up diving into it, it ended up being a 50-year-old man. That's how dangerous gaming and social media is. Then the other side, let me take you to the other side. So that's 60%. The other 30, 40% is familia. It's family. And I wish I could tell you that I didn't hear that one all the time. We just rescued a girl about 3 months ago from Texas, 14 years old. The father was trafficking her for drugs. It gets worse. The more that we've been uncovering it, ended up finding out that he's been intimate with her also. And now she's going through that Stockholm syndrome with her father, and now she's in love with her father because that's trauma bond. You ask me why I tell you all of that, because it's wrong. We need to be aware, because I believe that if we know better, we do better. We know better, we do better. We protect our children, we protect our grandchildren. And I'm on a mission. Because you know why? I want you to work me out of a job. Because where do I go back? Which time do I go back to heal? I could tell you so many stories. I wish, will you guys promise that you'll let me come back and we'll do a whole event? I want to bring my anti-trafficking sheriff. I want to bring a survivor. But see, we don't stop there. I'm sharing with you the need, and I'm sharing with you that, but we are about hope. Because I believe we can make a difference. You say, Carolyn, you think that you're going to change human trafficking? No. But am I going to try? Yes. Am I going to save one? Oh, I hope so. Am I going to save two? You bet. But what we want to do is we're doing, and I would love to share with you guys, I'll ask Bob if I can hand out my,
Absolutely.
You're okay with that? You don't mind too, Bob?
You promised to tell everybody what's happening on Friday.
I'm going to tell him.
All right.
All right, I'll do it for you, Bob. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this in 3 phases, all right? The first thing is by January, on Friday, I will tell you, we are doing our first Christmas Gala fundraiser in Claremont at the First Baptist. I've got the anti-trafficking sheriff going to be there. I've got a survivor going to speak. And we are doing an auction and raffles. And I mean, people are coming out of the woodwork. I can't even tell you the stuff that we are getting. I'm so blown away. We're up to 28 tables sold. Do you think people care? I think people care, and they're ready to join this fight, because alone we can do so little, but together we can do so much. Do you believe that? That's what we believe. And so what we're going to do is by January, our goal is that we are going to have our first home. We're going to take 4 to 6 girls in, and we are going to be a safe house. I am in an alliance group, so we will take girls from all over America, so it could be 2 and 3 states over. There might be a girl that we get here that it's safer to get her 2 or 3 states over, you know what I'm saying? And then what we're going to do from there, we're going to get that open. We're going to have 2 trauma therapists. We're going to have case managers. We're going to have 6 life coaches. We're going to have job finding. We're partnering with colleges. What we want to do is begin to restore these girls. Little things. I mean, I'm talking little things, you all. How to make a bed. That might sound like, oh, that's so simple. Not to these girls. What a healthy relationship looks like. That's a big one. I wish you could be in the conversations with these girls. Aha moments. They're going, what? They never even knew it because they were never taught it. They were groomed so young. So, and then from there, our goal is that we are going to end up with like 30 to 50 acres. And then we are going to turn it into a community, a village. We're calling it a village of restoration, where we will have several homes that will have 4 to 6 girls. We'll have a big marketplace where we'll we've got all these different plans. If you come Friday night, I'm just going to give you a little teaser. And we're going to share with the vision, and we're doing it in phases. You can't do all this at once, right? But our goal is that we are going to get these girls and get them back into life. I've got one of the girls that's speaking on Friday night, guys. She's in school right now getting her trauma therapy license. She's going to take her pain and put it to use because she found purpose. She found hope. And that is what we are taking to these girls. And so we'd love for you to come Friday night.
So, Carol, am I on? So, Carol, I have a question for you.
Please.
Okay. So, a lot of these people have been in organizations and they've been in, hearing people talk about, they're raising money to do this and that, and they never get anything done, and they've never actually done anything. Have you actually ever raised any money, done anything like this before in the past?
Thank you, Mr. Bob. Well, like I said, I've been in ministry 50 years. And we actually had a ministry that was called GOAT International. And 1 year alone, we raised over $30 million to send medical aid to third world countries. And I got the privilege that year to work with Mother Teresa and with a lot of people like that. So this is a little bit old hat, I'm telling you, but it's a passion. I keep telling people, I love mission work, right? I love doing mission work overseas. The sad thing is, America is a mission field. I don't even need to leave. I don't mean this wrong. I can go right out that door and I can find it for you. And so that is what we're doing. We are bringing it right back home. I'm not saying we want to support these other people. I mean, Sound of Freedom did $150 million, I think it just raised. Hallelujah. Listen, we need all of it. You'll never hear me. But right here in America, we need mission field. Right here. We need homes. We need restoration. It's right here.
And so are you inferring that if people were to get tickets for Friday night, if they were still available, and they were to come to Claremont to your event, they'd be able to hear all about this and hear how someone who can be very successful and has been very successful, so you know that if you donate to this organization, you got very good chance that it's going to be very successful and you're going to save lives. How many people did you say got baptized just from your organization?
Okay, I didn't know if I could say that here. We had 33 girls get baptized last year. Yeah, and now you're touching on things that really mean something to me because I didn't know I could do that here. Now you touched me. Now you touched me. I don't want government money because I don't want them to tell me I can't talk about Jesus. I'm just sorry. I've been through, how many of you have been through hell and back, right?
Hello.
And I tell people all the time, when you're running through hell, the biggest thing is don't stop running. And that is what we are taking. And let me tell you something. These girls, everybody like, oh, they're so tough. Oh, yeah, they're tough. I can tell you about one girl that she sat with me just about 2 weeks ago. Honey, she could cuss me out. And I can take it. Because I understand where it's coming from. But she sat there and told me about things that she had been through. And I'm going to get a little blunt here. I mean, she's like how she would go to bed being beaten. And she said, and I'll tell you, I'm such a tough girl. I can lay there and sleep like a baby. Yeah. And then to watch us get down on our hands and feet. And we put it, I have this thing called the blessing chair. And I set these girls in the middle. We get down on our hands and feet around them and pray over their feet. And I don't know why it just came to me to pray over the little girl that had been so trying. She was still trying to protect that little girl. And I saw this tough girl weep and weep and weep because she knew she was safe. I'm telling you, talking about forgiveness. Oh,
Action!
I'm telling you, like, I get chills because that's what we're talking about. I'm just going to let you all know, I am not a welfare system. I'm going to make that very clear to you. I'm not bringing these girls in the home to give them a place to stay, to raise money, we're going to do some work. I am in this to see lives change and believe that heaven should be more populated than.
I'm going to fast forward this up to Christine. Yeah, looks like good.
Well, always remember when somebody's running for office, they're being a public servant, okay? They deserve a great deal of respect, so I really appreciate all of them. So, Becky Ciroli, come on up. Becky's running for Florida House District 27.
You didn't see me for a minute. I think I was hiding behind the pole there. But I am Becky Ciroli. I'm America First, Christian conservative Republican, running for Florida's House District 27. 27, there was alcohol involved drawing the district lines. It covers portions of Marion, Lake, and Volusia counties. And it's a lot of forest areas, but the forest areas, I'm more comfortable in there. I know I'm a retired police lieutenant, and I have to tell you, I hate public speaking. And when God told me, and I very clearly heard it, that I was supposed to run for office, I was like, you know me better than that. I've been doing conviction of the.
All right. So, a couple of quick things. So I was talking to Laura Loomer. She was at the airport on her way up to Georgia for the Who Cares Fourth Republican debate. Right? So she wanted everybody to know she is going to be streaming pre-debate on her Rumble channel tomorrow, about 2 or 3 hours before. And I would also encourage everybody to go up to loomer.com because she just broke 2 big stories on the corrupt judges and Fannie, little Fannie up there in Georgia. And then this Judge Edgeron in New York. He's a real piece of work. So Lord busted out some big stories on them. Not to mention she outed Judge Edgeron's wife. You guys all heard about that, right? So she's nonstop. She's doing great. And she just had to say hi to everybody. So hi from Laura. Okay. So Jim Volpe will introduce tonight's guest speaker.
Before I go into announcing the speaker, Mike Levine was so interested in telling you what he was going to do for you, he forgot to mention he has an event at the Hacienda Center 2 nights from today. It'll be Thursday night at doors open at 5 and starts at 6, and he's going to be letting everybody in Lake County really know what he's all about. Well, I go back that I was the first vice president for the Villages of Trump. I worked hard to bring us from 100 members up to, we got 3,500 active members right now. And I came back aboard. I left for a couple of years to play a little golf in the Villages, and then I've been put in charge of election integrity. Well, I was Laura Loomer's regional director for her campaign, and in the 5,000 people I met, 100% thought that the 2020 election was stolen. That was until we went to the November 22 November 21 Lake County REC meeting, which we had Seth Ketchler, a national authority on election integrity. And he gave a speech there that was damning of all the bad statistics right here in Central Florida. Well, then he asked the question, how many in here think the 2020 election was stolen? There was 500 people in the room. Only one table didn't raise their hand, Dan Webster and his company. They thought it was legitimate. Well, anyway, from all that I've done on it, I haven't seen anything that got me excited until I read what Christine Scott is doing. She has 1,000+ writ of mandamus in front of Clarence Thomas, our Supreme Court Justice right now. So she could spend 2 hours with everything she's doing, but she's just going to work on what's going on in Citrus, Lake, Marion, and Sumter counties. Well, let me introduce her. I'm so proud for what she's doing. Here she is, Miss Christine Scott.
I'm assuming that everyone here is concerned about elections.
Yes.
Look at how many people are here. Do you have any idea how much you guys can do? What a difference this many people can make? I mean, I make a little dent and I'm one person. You're a whole bunch of people. So I'm going to show you some stuff. Now, everybody has a different approach, and there is so much election fraud going on. Oh my gosh. I'm only going to hit a couple or a few different things, really, about 4 things. And I'm one of those people who, like, I'm not going to get into the nitty gritty because we don't need to. What's happening with election fraud is broad strokes, and in any of these 4 areas, it brings down the whole thing. What we have is a lot of corruption, and people say, yeah, well, what do? You hang them. This is what's called, seriously, this is treason. When you try to overthrow my government by way of elections, this is war against my country. You don't have the right to do that. It's called treason. Okay, so some things are just that simple. We don't have to say, what do? We have things. We hang you for it. We could do other things. There's other ways of killing you, but basically we take you out. That's the law, and that's why we do it. It's not like, our laws are optional. No, they're laws, and they're based on the Constitution, or else they're not laws, they're void. But this is one of those ones that's kind of really important. And we do that because our country matters. Okay? So, there I am. Hello. Okay, so we're going to look at 4 counties, as you heard, and we're going to look at Lake first. I hope that you can see this stuff. I'm going to get in here if you can't see it. If you all know what I'm talking about, go ahead and say something about it. I want you to know. My goal here is to empower you so you can move forward on your own and do stuff, okay? I'm only one person. This is where you live. Your vote matters, and when it doesn't count, they have harmed your constitutional rights. They have deprived you of it, and no one has the right to do it. These are your trusted servants, okay? That's why they're in office. They're there to represent you. Not some Joe, not some random Joe that some corporation and corrupt politicians put in. That's wrong. That's not how we work. So let's take a look at what we're doing. And so this is Alan Hayes. From you, a lot of you know who he is. Now, so you can go to, just Google Lake County SOE, and this will come up, and then you're going to go to there's going to be election results or something like that, and you can find that, and you want to see the election results. Trump wasn't the only race that got, all of them did, exactly, all of them. Every single race. What they do is a shell game, okay? So here, we're going to look at the 2022 election. 160,000 ballots were counted. We're going to look at the detailed, this is summary results here, okay? And we're going to look at the detailed results of summary. You want to see the detailed results. It's necessary. As far as the statutes go, it's mandatory that they show you these results. If you have numbers that are over 30, here are your total votes here, okay? Total votes. Any of these total votes coming down in any of these 4 rows is more than 30, or any race is more than 29, excuse me, so 30 or more, it must be a whole number. This is 103,000, that's more than 29. But they're dashes. This is what you call illegal. So this is what you call 103,000 violations of law in the Mark Rubio, Val Deming case for a senator, okay? Every single vote there, every person who voted, they're not counting it. if it's not showing up here, I can do whatever I want with it, right? I can move it around, I can switch it. How do you know if there's 50,000 here or here? Or... Okay, what do I need to do to make sure that doesn't happen? Anything? Really? Okay. I feel like I'm already screaming at you. Or, louding. So, this is illegal. This in and of itself is enough to demand that the election be held anew, set aside and held anew. I don't know what the numbers are. You can do whatever you want with them. That is what we like to call fraud. Corruption, really bad and you can't do it. This is here in your area. This means that you can address this. You have a state senator, you have Florida House reps, okay? Those are your people on this. They need to do this. If they don't want to do something on it, it's because they probably know some hanky-panky's going on. All of a sudden they become very suspect, okay? So let's keep looking. Now this is the Senate race. We're going to spend a little more time on Lake County. And the other counties, in many ways, show the same sort of fraud. So I'm going to show you mostly with Lake County so you have a solid understanding of it so you can move forward on that. Okay. Now we've got Representative for Congress, District 6, Waltz versus Hanush. And again, 35,000 total votes. Well, that's over 29. And the minute I go over 29, or the one next full number over it, all of these must show numbers. Or else I'm making them up. Or somebody else's, really. And this is a huge problem. Okay, so both of your Congress reps in 11, Webster. Okay. We've got issues here. I can put any number I want in with that. It's the shell game. You go out on the streets of New York, you got the shell game, right? It's an issue. And if I'm moving this further away and you can't hear me, just raise your hand, tell me to talk. Okay, I want you to know what's going on. Okay, again, and now on this page, you see up here where it says 316,000 violations. We've got, do you see it right? Okay. I heard it, I want to make sure you saw it. Okay, so the violation is Florida statute 98.0982A, 12A. And this says a dash represents detailed groups, okay, of election day, early votes, vote by mail, and provisional. Okay, so there are 4 different ways that you can vote. And then it says with between 1 to 29 votes in accordance with the Florida statute 98.0982A. Okay, so anything over that, like I said, has to be a whole number. Well, they're not. There's only 2 races here. So you've got the Attorney General and you've got DeSantis. DeSantis, really? He's got no numbers there? They could be anything? What kind of gold standard is that?
They did the same thing in Laura Lulu's race, and I called in 4 times. I sent them letters, no response.
They're not responding? What kind of indication is that? What is that telling you? They're not concerned about election fraud? So, okay, so we've got the Attorney General here. She's supposed to be concerned, right? Isn't she like our top person for, why wouldn't she care? Do you know that she certified her own race? Yes. Did you know that DeSantis certified his own race? Yeah. And so did the CFO, Jimmy Petronas. They all certified their own races. They certified the other races that happened at a multi-county level, statewide and federal. That's a violation of 112.3136. They're not allowed to do that. It's a misuse of public office. It's also Florida statute under 104 under that chapter. It benefits themselves. If I say I won my own race, it benefits me. Well, that's what DeSantis did. Yes, you have a question, real quick.
Third and fourth line there, they have numbers all the way across. Are those people, I can't see, are those?
Yes, so the lower, the one is, this is a NPA, Carmen's NPA, Hector is a libertarian, it looks like. So they're showing those, they're saying, okay, you suck, you have nothing, shut up and don't say anything.
Is it a program that puts those numbers in that slot? How come they aren't on the two lines above it? Why aren't there any numbers?
Isn't that a great question?
I think it's great, but I want an answer.
You should want an answer.
Yeah, but how do they decide who they're gonna put numbers and then not put numbers for somebody else?
Yeah, how do they decide this? I mean, there aren't any numbers there. How are we supposed to know? Can we guess? I want to make the decision, okay? I don't like what's going on. Is that what they're doing? Are they saying we don't, yeah. Okay, so this page has just these races, 235,000 violations of law of just that one, okay? Just that one statute. Do you know how many statutes they are violating in this? We're not even going into the RICO stuff at all, okay? We're not going into the treason on this. We're just keeping it real simple. If it has more than 29, give me a number. I mean, that's how simple we're keeping it. And on just these two races, 235,000. This is here. Yes, ready. Let's keep it. Well, actually, no. Right here, here's your vote by mail. Alrighty. So, again, so this is Kennedy, who is your Florida Supreme Court Chief Justice. Okay, and all of this is another one of the Chief Justices. They all came up to retain their offices, and they all have these dashes, and they're and nobody said anything. I mean, they're supposed to care about justice, right? They didn't say, "Hey, wait a minute, this wasn't accurate. Could you go back and do it again?" Okay. And here we go, 178,000. We're looking at that number up there, okay? For just these two races, again, over and over. This is every race, okay? This is Lake County. This is this empowers you. If you don't know how, this empowers you. I'm showing you what you can look at so you can see what's going on, because a lot of times we don't know where to go with this. We don't know what's happening, but when we do look at something and it looks a little funky like this, we don't know what to do at that point. I didn't know what to do with this for a really long time. I thought those numbers were somewhere. I kept looking for those numbers. They had to be somewhere, right? They aren't.
Nowhere.
So, yes and no, it depends. Supervisors of elections are like anybody else, and they have personalities, and your personality is going to be different from my personality, so how you handle something is different from how the next person's going to handle something, okay? And so their fraud varies SOE to SOE, and you'll see that in the 4 counties that we're looking at. This one's great because he's so out of control. He just doesn't care. I mean, you never look anyway. And honestly, people don't look. They don't know where to look, they don't know how to look, and it looks so funky, they don't even know what to look at when they're looking at it. So, all right. My goodness. I have no idea what this is or why it's here. I think we'll pass it. I have no. These are not supposed to look like this. Where's my guy? It looks a little funky. Is that okay? All right. Oh, it
It didn't convert correctly. Ah, you think we're hacked? Maybe we're getting hacked. Okay, moving on. Here we go. So now there's a different backup also. Okay, what I showed you, they have a legal obligation to have it on their website so that you can see it. Okay. Now these come from reports. Here's a report. This is again for Lake County. Okay, and you can see he didn't give us anything. He doesn't care. You apparently are so powerless that he doesn't care if he throws this in your face. Do any of you remember when he said, I'm tired of hearing about that election fraud. Shut up, show it or shut up, you know? Put up or shut up. Yeah, so I was like, dude, you're talking my language. I have stuff for you. And I sent it to him, and I showed him, like, tons of election fraud in this district. He said, I'm not talking to you. I just talked to Raj over at Defend Florida, and I'm over it. I said, I'm not Raj, and I'm not with Defend Florida, and I want some answers. He said, I'm not talking to you. This is a public servant. This is your public servant. Who does he care about? If not you, then who? His only obligation is to abide by the Constitution so that you have elected officials who are working on your behalf. That's their job. They are public servants. That's how this country works. If you don't like it, pick another country. Anyone, it's fine. You know, this is, yes, how can I help you? Pardon me? Oh, the data exists? This comes out of the SNS machine? Oh yeah, he's got the data, so why isn't he showing it to us? He is not giving the data. He wouldn't even talk to me about it. I thought Jill took it.
Well, I sent him a letter concerning the election of 2020, and he told me to mind my own business and leave it to the experts.
We are the experts.
He did talk to me too, but he's a very good person.
I think he's mistaken. We are the experts.
Yeah, he wouldn't, and he actually said that Lindell stuff where the machines were in our county was 8.4% were changed from.
I have a feeling.
He wouldn't. He just threw my paper away.
So I have a feeling that he feels that he cannot be voted out of office. We will have a Q&A later, and I'm really glad that you're asking questions. Is any county clean? Nope. We've got 67 counties. Is anyone clean? Nope. Okay, so we're still looking at more. This is the governor's race, you know. Oh, yeah, in Lake. Okay, now he's showing some stuff. This is a different setup. These are precinct levels. So what you saw before was summary. Now you're looking at precinct level. And he's got some numbers here. But why don't you have it in the summary? And why do you only have some? And this is precinct 565. One of the things that you find here is that there is a consistency in the precincts that they do their fraud in. That means the dashes. Okay, that's fraud. It's misconduct, fraud, and corruption. They are not allowed to do that according to the law. So when they violate the law, it's okay to call it fraud if they're claiming that it's a safe election and a straight up election when it's not. You're lying to me, and in that kind of lie, it hurts me as a citizen. Look, if they've got corrupt races over in Wyoming in their federal stuff, that can affect you here. Think Cheney. It matters. Every single race in every single county in every single state affects you. You don't have to vote. You don't. It's a choice. Okay, we rely, no matter what, on the integrity of our elections to work for every single person. It matters for every single person, and the way that we are governed by those that we allow to represent us. Okay, so he shows less here, but he's still not clean, okay?
And it's hard to tell what's going on. Okay, so total violations of this one statute, 985,000. Now, do you know what the law is in the state of Florida? Every state's different, so I don't care what they do in any other state. I'm only looking at this state. They can only handle so much fraud. There's a lot of it here. That's all I can deal with. Okay, so in the state of Florida, the law is that if there is a substantial number of violations of statute, then you set aside the election and you hold it anew. It's two parts. If there is any doubt that the vote or the results did not represent the voters, okay? So we have dashes, no idea what's happening there. Does that mean that there's doubt in the result? Now we have 985,000 violations. Does that seem substantial to you in one county here? Yeah, it's not in the whole state. It's just a county and only one violation. We can go on about all the other violations and they get fun.
Christine, can I ask a question on that? So the new office that they just created, the Office of Election Integrity, you're familiar with it?
Antonacci.
Well, not him, he's not running it now, but
He's not now because he's dead.
Right. And there's a form now, which I happen to become familiar with recently, that if there's an election fraud, that somebody can fill out this
There was a form before. You know what they do with it? They say, sucker. Thanks for taking the time. I hope you're out of energy because we're not going to pay attention to you anyway.
So let's say hypothetically it appeared on the Villager for Trump website. And everyone was able to go and download that form, fill it out, and pick every one of these 985. And we were all to bombard that office with all of these election frauds. Do you think that would make a difference? Or should we not do it just because they...
No, you should do it.
Exactly.
The reason why you should do it isn't the outcome. We're looking for a paper trail. I believe that we've got the military in charge, and I want to make sure that they know, and if everybody who's corrupt, and if you don't take these steps, they don't know. Okay? We want to expose the corruption. We want them gone. We actually want them to do the right thing. The reality is that they're not doing the right thing. Okay? And so, since they're not willing to, we want to know who those corrupt people are. I do believe that the white hats are in charge and are paying attention and that your actions really matter. So yes, it is essential that you take all these steps, that you write DeSantis, that you write Alan Hayes if this is your county, that you write Cord Bird, put it in an email form or something so that you have a paper trail on this. Because these, as you all know, the NSA hacks us all. It also means that they are very aware of all of this. So the white hats can see all of this, and they can see whether or not someone is responding or not responding. They have a duty to respond and to fix this stuff. And when they don't, they're part of it, okay? It's aiding in a RICO crime. You can get 30 years for one wire fraud, okay? One act of wire fraud. Only this one statute, is 985,000 acts of wire fraud. Because they're doing this stuff online, okay? And it goes on and on and on. You have the power, they're telling you you don't. They are mistaken.
Who's going to commit to doing this? I want to see hands. I want to see people who are going to commit. We're going to get this form out to every one of you. And we're going to get the actual crimes, and then all you have to do is fill out the form and send it in.
Woo! Perfect.
This is action. This is how we change things.
So we're going to look at Marion County now. And now we're going to run fast through this stuff, okay? So you understand the process, so you don't need me beating it into your head with each of the counties. Every county is a little different, though, okay? So remember how there are 4 columns? You have the election day, early voting, vote by mail, and provisional. You don't see that, do you? Everybody does their fraud differently. So if you don't have a provisional column, you can hide stuff there, can't you? And you're just not going to show it to me. That's right. Well, that's a problem. You're not allowed to do that. Did you know that altering that is like a felony offense in the Florida election code? It is. How nice is that? I think it might be 104.051. I could be mistaken, but it's the 104 chapter that is fun to read when it comes to the felony statutes as they relate to election fraud. You don't have to go there. I mean, you can have regular fraud on this stuff. 838.0221B is part of the RICO Act. Not everything is part of the RICO Act. Does anyone not know what RICO is? We're good? Okay. So, now Florida has a RICO code. Not everybody does. Florida statute 895.03 is RICO. So if I use, let's say I'm a supervisor of election, okay? And I go and I use my supervisor of elections office, my warehouse, to conduct illegal activities, okay? Then I'm using it as an enterprise for conducting illegal activities. That's a RICO crime. When I do it with someone else, then it's a conspiratorial RICO crime. Now, I can use any in Florida. Every state's different. In Florida, you can use any of the federal RICO crimes as well. RICO's really cool because you do big time on RICO. That's what brought down the New York mob. You got it. Rudy Giuliani brought him down on that, okay? So it's big time, and they decided it wasn't worth killing anybody if they're going to do 30 years, not just 6 years, okay? So you want to, this is the area you play. You do wrong to us, and we want to take a look at it. Okay, so here we want to prosecute, and we want to prosecute hard enough so it's never worth them doing again, is what I mean. All right, so the whole column of provisional is missing. It's a huge issue. It's enough in and of itself to bring down the election and say you have to hold this anew because it voids everything here. It voids it. You don't have enough validity on any level. I mean, you still have all these dashes here. And then you're just in a whole row. It's like, oh my goodness, you know, a kid on Halloween with candy, they just went nuts. All right, we've got more. I'm not going to show you all of them, but again, you've got the DeSantis race. Now, this is the precinct level, okay? Interesting thing, if anyone looks into this, when you go onto the website there, okay? These are the precinct numbers here. There's oftentimes consistency in the precinct. A lot of times they'll give you some whole numbers, but in the same precincts they won't. Why would they do that? Maybe because those are the precincts where they change the votes, where they change the ballots. Or if you're going to have a recount, they know which boxes to hit, so they keep it systematic, okay? All right, now here, why? Something's going on. I don't know if anybody knows about this area, this town of McIntosh, but they showed pretty much all of their numbers in Marion County, okay? But McIntosh got hit hard. They didn't want to show anything in McIntosh. So there's something going on here, in my opinion. If anybody cares about McIntosh, if you're from Marion County, if you just want to look into it, there you go, it's a cute little town. They probably want to take that out and put in a big Walmart. Okay, so again, you're seeing the same stuff, okay? Over and over. I wonder why he won't say anything. Huh. 88,798. Yes. That is enough to overturn an election, to set it aside, to hold it anew. Okay?
Christine, just a quick question on that.
Yes.
You went through each one of these and found all of these violations?
Yeah, thank God.
So, it's obvious why I'm not married, right?
Thank you. Thank
I
you.
dare you not to put the toilet seat down. All right, Sumter County. Oh, I love Sumter. How they all do their own, right? You have a legal obligation to show all your work. You have the legal obligation if you're the SOE to do the website. Not in Sumter. He doesn't do it at all. No information for you. That's right.
Wow.
And so it's not coming up for whatever reason, but this is, you click on it, you try to get there, okay, this is the next page, and it says you can do an online request form. So this means that it's all void there. He's not going to show you. It's just not worth it. Why are you not worth it? Because they're controlling this stuff. Okay, the fraud and the treason that is involved in this, I want to see their Form 6s. Anybody know what the Form 6 is? So, that's right, it's their financials. You want to see their financials. You want to see what's going on here. Let me see your paperwork. Why aren't you showing me this stuff? What's in it for you to not represent the people? Okay? This is something. That's all you got for me.
What happened when you filled it out?
I didn't fill it out. I don't need to. I need to see it online. I don't even have to go down that road. It is your obligation by law. Okay? We have statutes to protect us. The statutes say you show me the work. They're not showing you the work. They don't have that right. The police officers don't have the right to not act on this. The sheriffs don't have the right to not act on this. The Secretary of State does not have the right to not act on this, and neither does DeSantis. This is their obligation. The refusal to do that means that they are participating in this. They don't have the right to participate in this. We have a problem. 2 million. Every single vote. Yep, little county too. Yeah, because everyone is a violation. So another question. Yes. I saw a hand. Yes. Hi. Yes. Don't need to. This here is on their website. This is Sumter. So you Google or Bing or whatever you want to do, Brave, Sumter, Florida, SOE. That's enough. It takes you to the Supervisor of Elections website. Okay? At that point, you're looking for something that says past elections, election information, something like that. Past election results. You might want to search for it. Sometimes it's not the easiest thing to find, but it's there. So this is all public. It's public facing on their website. You don't have to ask for any of it. All right, citrus. And it's hard to. This isn't what it looks like. So we're having a transfer issue on how it's transferring. You can see that again. We're missing the provisional ballots, so I can hide whatever I want there. You can't see it, and I'm not going to answer you anyways if you say anything because Supervisor of Elections, you don't count. All right. So, I love this woman's work. She's fabulous. It looks like she's a purist. She only has 1,900 violations. So she's like our dream child until you look a little closer. And then it gets fun. So we're going to talk about Clear Ballot, okay? And she uses Clear Ballot. Now, I'm down in Palm Beach County in Broward, okay? So I watched the Palm Beach race, and we're going to take a look at that too. And they use a machine, Clear Ballot, and they hook it up next to the 850, the DS 850, which is an ES&S. ES&S is a machine that counts your votes, okay? The 850 is the big machine that they have in the warehouse. They also have DS200s. When you go to vote, you put your ballot into a machine. That machine is called a DS200. If I lose anybody on this, you raise your hand and you ask me. I want you to understand the process that you're going through and how it affects you. Everybody here, if you're in one of these, ooh,
Hold on. I'm going to put your
I
original
don't know where she came from. All 4 of these counties use the ES&S machine. Okay? Now, something fun about the ES&S machine. It is not federally certified. It is not federally certifiable because it is connected. It has built-in internet. Okay? That means that we couldn't use it here because every single county, 67 counties took federal money. If you take federal money, you're signing a contract with them to use machines that they have certified. 49 counties in Florida use the ES&S machines. Not one of those machines is certified in and of itself. That voids every single thing. It is so vulnerable. Hi, go for it.
These machines are being used.
Yes.
Let's hack the machines.
Okay. All right. Let me answer that. I just talked to you about wire fraud, right? Same deal. You don't need to go to jail for that. And you shouldn't have to act in such a way. They have an obligation, all right? This is an attempt to overthrow the government by way of election fraud. This is a selection process, not an election process. So they're putting in whoever they want. We are really suffering from this.
I've got a question over here, and then we'll go to St. Louis County.
It's not a question. I am Citrus County. So, last year, I sat in on a certification of the machines, and they took it all the way through the ES&S and said they are certified. Now, you have to remember they set everything up before you ever come in there. They run the paperwork while they're talking. And
Who said they were certified?
The canvassing board and Mobile.
So they lied to you. If you're talking about 2022, now there are 2 certifications, okay? You have a certification for the ES&S, you have a certification for the Dominions, you're only dealing with ES&S, you have a federal certification and a state certification. So you're supposed to be really protected here, right? Well, Cord Bird didn't certify any of the machines in 2022, so there was no certification at all. There wasn't a federal certification, there wasn't a state certification. So in 49 of our counties, no certifications. It means you can't use them. They weren't certifiable machines. They don't care. They're like just throwing this in your face. We already sold it, we're just going through that stuff. We're not even bothered. That's what it seems like they're doing right now. Okay. So Citrus, oh, there it is. Okay, her work is beautiful. I love this lady. On the surface, it's just gorgeous. She has everything there for you. We only have two, where we've got these little dashes. This is only 1 over. I want to work with her, you know. Here it's only 70. I mean, considering the other ones we've seen, she looks good.
She worked in that office 35 years.
Okay, so, oh, by the way, where's the provisional column? Why isn't it there? I don't know. Alrighty, yep. So I'm pointing out no provisional column. It's relevant. If it wasn't relevant, it'd be there. All right, but only 1900. She makes it look good, doesn't she? We want to like this woman. All right, here we go. So, the Florida House of Representatives. Now, what I had as you know, I filed an application. No one would listen to me, you know? I know, right? I know. And they just ignore you, and it's like, okay, this is super important. Don't care. But I do. Okay, so finally, I filed an application to Justice Thomas. And so, if anyone doesn't know what that means, so let's say that someone's going to be executed, okay? And you file, it's called an application. You say, wait, this is imperative public importance. Don't kill him, and this is why. And that goes to the Chief Justice, Supreme Court Chief Justice of your circuit. Okay, we're in Circuit 11. So the 11th Circuit is Florida and Alabama and Georgia. And our Chief Justice is Clarence Thomas, okay? And so that is who I filed this with. Now, they have a choice. They can deny my application, or they can grant it. If they grant it, what they then do is they send you something and they generally say, please file a petition for writ of certiorari. And that just means that it's involved in another lawsuit that's already happening. That's what that means. It's interlocutory. So it depends on another lawsuit that's in existence and in the process, okay? They didn't do that. They asked me to file a petition for writ of mandamus. Now, what that means is that the Chief Justice can order a government entity to take a certain action. Just straight up. So it's a direct link. They asked me to do the best possible thing that they could ask me to do. Yes. Yes, what a blessing. So, and I had to show them what was going on, okay? So there were things that happened with the Florida House, okay? The Florida legislature, House and Senate. And I addressed that, and I addressed what they did. The very next day after I filed my mandamus, so they had already seen my application apparently. I'm assuming that they're not that fast. If they are, I'm really envious. But the very next day, this was filed. And it addresses 5 things, all of which are in my application. You can make a difference. Okay, so this is before them right now. And when it was initially filed, it was filed by these 2 guys, all right? Those 2 legislators. And what it says is what they address, all right? Number 1, authorizes counties to count ballots by hand at a precinct level. Yes. Yeah, we'll take it. Okay. So, number 2, it prohibits the Department of State from approving certain voting systems. Ooh. Okay, we want to play there. Nice, you know? And when they're doing stuff for you, let them know. Okay, so 3, requires the Department of State to make certain information and materials available to the public on its website. So everything you saw was supposed to be available. They're kind of going back and saying, hey, kind of reminder, you got to put this stuff up there. Okay. 4, deletes public record exemption that applies to certain software on file with the Department of State. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Huge. This affects you. All that money that they're taking, the extortion that they're doing with trying to steal your money or to force it so that you can't get the records. How much money does this person have? Okay, we'll make sure that they can't afford it and we'll charge this much. That's called extortion. They are not allowed to do that, okay? So what the legislature had done in 2021 is they said that the voting systems were, they didn't have to, they didn't have to give you the information. It's statute. I'm sorry, it's constitutional. Article 124 says that you have a right to public records. Okay, Constitution. Nothing is above the Constitution, period. Okay, we have a more extensive Constitution here in Florida than the U.S. Constitution, and it has guaranteed your right to public records. Okay, so they went in and said, the legislature went in and said, we're exempting this. Okay, we're saying you don't have to follow the Constitution. So I'm saying, oh my gosh, really? This is like, I don't know, this is that Puerto Rico thing where you're using the legislature as a criminal activity against us. Well, you can't do that because that's an act of treason. So their response deletes public record exemptions that applies to certain software. All right, so they were saying you can't see that. That's a trade secret. I'm sorry, this is our elections. Nothing's a trade secret. And if you think it is, if your business thinks it is, you're in the wrong business because we don't play that way. These are our elections. How I voted is none of your business. But everything else, you give me 10 minutes or 5? Oh my God. Okay, so provides that software is public record and must be provided at cost of duplication. They can't do that to you anymore. Okay, so here, may or may not count ballots at hand of precinct level. This means we can go to paper ballots. That's what it means. Okay? Yeah. You got it. They have that right. Okay, incorporates hardware and software that is designed, produced, owned, licensed by the entity that is owned, operated, and majority controlled by foreign company. Okay, or domestic company registered in another country, including domesticated foreign corporation or by a person who is not a U.S. citizen. What that means is that none of our electronics can ever be used again.
Yes.
Because they're all made in China.
Right.
This says, so it's a good thing they put that paper ballot thing in because we don't have any machines anymore. That's what this means. Okay, hold on, I only got 5 minutes. I'm sorry. Okay, it's produced full in part, including software, tabulating equipment, printers, and other things. Okay, can't be done in a foreign country. It has to be done here in the United States. That's what that says. Okay, we're bringing it home. And that's what Florida's trying to do. You call these people and let them know how much you love them. Okay, back to this. So initially it was just 2, and then it was 3, and now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's amazing. Okay, these people are incredible. We want to support this action. It's huge for us. Okay, such information materials may be available to the public on the websites at least 3 months before the election. They have to have this up for you. They can't hide it. This is certifications, okay? They can't not certify information. It's got to be up there 3 months before. If it's not, they should be held accountable. Legally, it's a law. They can't break the law. Okay, so software held in person, okay, must be provided at actual cost. Again, I forget the lady who's running in the back. This is you. It must be provided at actual cost. Used to be shall, not anymore. Okay, the use of uncertified machines voids every vote in every race cast of every piece of uncertified voting equipment. It's all uncertified. None of it worked. It's all a joke. They're just fooling us. Okay, ESNS, real quick. The ESNS DS200 machines, which is used to scan and count ballots at a precinct level, are not federally certified. Thank goodness we went through this before. And it voids the election cycle because you cannot use uncertified machines. It's illegal. Okay, so the ESNS hardware and software largely comes out of China, if not all of it. Okay, they're not allowed to do that. It's unrestricted warfare according to China. They're at war with us. This is what they say in their own documents, and they say that they use elections for this war against us. But we can't do that. That's an enemy of the state, and they can't run our elections. Okay, so here, that I was telling you it wasn't certified in 2022, right there. That's what it would say if it was certified in 2022. It doesn't say it because machines were not certified at a federal or a state level. Totally illegal. They couldn't use them. Okay, so, and the ES&S. What they did when the federal government said, hey, you know what? You needed to tell these people that these were built-in Wi-Fi things. The ES&S then said, okay, you need to remove the stickers. Literally, there were stickers that said that had a modem. They say right here, remove the stickers on the machines, totally illegal, major fraud. Okay, that means they need to go to jail. Clear ballot. Clear ballot is not certified in the state of Florida. It never has been. So there are currently 35 countries. This is from a Clear Ballot employee who contacted me, and she said 30. I asked for the numbers. She said 35 counties use Clear Ballot. Okay, so this is it, and guess what this says? This is so cute. It counts all the ballots real time. So Joe, had 7 votes, and Ralph had 12. And guess what? I get to know that right now. I don't have to wait. And guess what happens when I get to know that right now? I can go and fix that. I can create new ballots, and real time, because we do this like 40 days in advance, so I can do it every single day. And guess what? That's exactly what Wendy Satori did in the SOE in Palm Beach County. And yes, I saw her, and yes, I had pictures. Okay? And so this is a closer picture of it. This is Clear Ballot. This is how Citrus County had all the lovely stuff. She just rewrote it all. This is my guess. They've got pictures. We can Clear Ballot. Can't use it. Cannot. Is a clear account. Sure is from the get-go. Here is the Clear Ballot machine. This is guy. Look how intensely he's looking at it. Isn't that cute? You know what he's doing? He's looking to see how many votes are coming in for which candidates real time, so they can then switch it out, because then they put it in the precinct level boxes, so you never know the difference. You know how you find out? Fingerprints, babe. If I don't have those fingerprints on every single ballot and they're all different fingerprints, it's not real, is it? Well, they probably got none. They probably got 5 of the 5 people doing it if they're not wearing gloves. That's it. Okay, another guy. There's so intense. This is all Palm Beach County. These are our pictures, Palm Beach County 2022. Okay? They're looking, and these here, these are precinct level boxes. Those green labels means it's precinct level. They're coming in. They go directly into the Clear Ballot machine, uncertified, can't use it, and then they put them back and they unseal them. You know, that seal that can never be broken, they just break it. And then they count them so they know what to do. All right, so this Clear Ballot again, it's like a printing center. They have a printing center in there. On the other side, literally, they've got reams of paper. They've got a ballot. This is the tabulation center. This is the safest place there is, right? And it's all secure. For who? Not us, not a guy. Just focus. Here's this thing. Okay, what they got with the numbers, what do we have to change? Seriously, this is how it works. It's illegal. Okay, this is the printing center over here. They have a printer. They keep their reams of paper here. Here's the Clear Ballot machine. This is the only machine that they're allowed to use. This is a DS 850, and it doesn't give any of the totals until at the end you open it up and you get them. Whereas this one, you get it all the time. Just boom, 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 boom. And it's the process of it. Okay. Tabulation center. Clear Ballot. They don't even hide it. Not allowed to use it. Doesn't matter. Okay, so this is the night after the election, okay? So midnight hits, okay? Here we go. This is 12:50 in the morning, August 24th. This is behind, it's always empty here. Well, they set up all this apparatus. And then you've got people on this side of this. You've got people on the other side. They bring in all these boxes. Let me show you real quick. Where's the box? They bring in here they are. White labels. White labels means election day. Okay, so they fix everything but the election days. Now, you saw them counting, okay? So now they've got all their ballots, they put them somewhere. They're going to put them in, whoops, come back here. There we go, right there, in those boxes, okay? So they open those boxes, and this side opens them up. They give the ballots to the other side. Literally, I'm sitting there watching this, okay? And then the other side gives them a different batch. They have new log sheets in there, and now the precinct level boxes match the fraud that you do or don't see online, and match the totals that they have. So you can't you can't tell. There are two ways to tell that I know. Maybe there are more. So these places have cameras throughout. Okay, it's the Albert system. The DHS, Department of Homeland Security, has access to all that footage, so it is there, and they know, and they've seen it happen. Okay? Here it is again. Now, by law, ballots are not counted. This is on Wendy Link's website in Palm Beach County. Until the polls are closed on election day. Well, oh gosh, you just saw them doing it from day one. As soon as those ballots come in, vote by mail or early votes, they're switching them out. They're making the new ones. Hold on. Okay. So,
Christine, I gotta wrap up because we got time.
Supervisor of Elections, it's a lobbyist organization. Every single supervisor of election who's part of it, they're not allowed to be. It's an illegal organization. It violates the Sunshine Law. They're just not allowed to do it. Totally illegal. And this is the 501c that says they're also not allowed to do it. They can't have the organization on that end either. So thank you so much for your time.
Was this great or what, huh?
And there you have it. That was Christine Scott speaking at the Villagers for Trump in Florida. Get together on December 5th, 2023. And the whole reason that speech happened is because I profiled Christine's case. One of my viewers saw it, is close to Christine in Florida, and invited her over to speak. And there you have it. So I do a little good every now and then. Thank you for that. So if you like the video, like, subscribe, share, hit that notification bell, leave a comment below. If you have a question, you'd like to get Christine on to do a speech at your event, she is available. Hit me up. I'll pass it along to her. Let's see, the Fearless Floyd Show at yahoo.com. If you want to email me, the Fearless Floyd Show across every social media platform you can shake a stick at. Mainly, I hang out over on Telegram. FearlessFloydShow.com is my website. I'm putting new products up there, holiday specials, got Trust Class, soft cover books, ebooks, salt lamps. Have some other new products coming that are very beneficial to humans that I actually use myself. So as I vet these products, I'm going to start doing private labeling. So there you go. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. I will also post a edited version of this video just with Christine speaking. And that way y'all get down to the nitty gritty. And I apologize for the audio. The audio is poor. Had nothing to do with me. It was the way the presentation was set up, the production. Obviously, they had two video cameras and they didn't have any exterior microphones. So they used the ones on the camera, and that's why the audio is kind of echoey, bouncy. I didn't have anything clean it up. So thank you for being here. I hope y'all all enjoyed this video. I will be doing some more as I speak. I'm able to do this live video because I can turn it on, run it, go do what else I need to do. I'm almost 100% organized with all my paperwork, and I will be moving forward, if you know what that means, very soon here. So stay tuned, kids. I'll see you when I see you. Peace in the Middle East, maybe. Go RVing.